Hello and welcome to Longship Gaming. Well, the day has finally come. Earthborne Rangers, which is a Kickstarter that I backed over 2 years ago, a few months ago, has finally fulfilled. So, to give you a quick introduction, what is Earthborne Rangers? It is a living card game, much like Arkham Horror or Marvel Champions. But it's set in a post-apocalyptic world in which you play a ranger tasked with preserving the nature and the lives and all the people that live within this valley. So there's a lot of high-tech equipment that they carry to go about their tasks. A lot of mutant or genetically engineered creatures that populate the valley. And it's an open world game. So you can choose your path as you go through the game as part of the campaign, and travel around the valley, encountering various NPCs and creatures, and collecting items, and improving over time, getting rewards for those tasks that you do or the missions that you do successfully. So my plan is on the channel we'll actually go through a solo campaign to play through the whole thing solo. Take it slow, and we'll go over the rules as we play through those games. But for now, I thought I'd do something which I haven't done on the channel before, which is actually an unboxing of this great product. So I didn't go in for a deluxe version of the game. I didn't need any of the really fancy upgraded stuff. I did pledge for the Legacy of the Ancestors, whatever the next expansion is going to be. They're still producing that, so probably in a year or so we'll have that one. So I don't have any of the fancy tokens or the art book or anything like that. I honestly don't remember what could be as part of these base game editions, but I guess we'll see. I think there were some changes that were made when this was shipped out, so we'll have to see. Oh, to give you more background, of course, about the game itself, it was designed by, or several members of the design team, used to work at Fantasy Flight Games and were responsible for the design of Arkham Horror and Marvel Champions. So I thought it'd be a really fun fit for this channel. I've really been looking forward to this. Another really appealing thing about this game is that, unlike a lot of Kickstarters, this was produced ecologically. In mind, in terms of like everything in the game, with the exception of the staples in the rulebook, can be compostable or recyclable. So if you'll notice on the back, down here at the bottom, there is an FSC mix paper supporting responsible forestry. So this is a special kind of paper that was sourced from a forest in Germany that practices sustainable forestry practices, and all of this was actually printed in Germany. So unlike a lot of board games which are now produced in China and shipped over, this specifically was printed in Europe using these sustainable methods. You'll note too, there is no plastic. So it came like this. There is no plastic sealing it. There are these paper stickers on the side. I'm not going to try and peel them off. From what I've heard, it can actually damage the box. I'm not hugely concerned about it. And one thing we'll notice, of course, when we open it too, which we'll get to in a second, this is all printed with vegetable inks as opposed to chemical inks too. So everything in this is intended to break down. So first, let's have a look at what's in here. Again, I don't remember what extra stuff may have been in here, or if this is supposed to be a replacement for items. Oh, I see. Okay, so this is a revamped storage solution and revamped tokens because there were issues with the base game when they printed it. So these are our cardboard insights to organize the game. I don't know if I'm going to use this necessarily to organize it. And of course, here's all the instructions for them. I did see something on, somebody did an early review of the box and the campaign from a prototype version. And they had used one of the smaller Marvel Champions boxes to actually store everything in within the box itself. It nested in perfectly and was enough room for all the cards. So may not have to use this. I'm not really sure. And I'm pretty sure that these are going to be the replacement tokens after they had their issues with the print run. So we'll just set that all aside for now and worry about that when we come to it. Okay, so let's cut open these sides. And another thing too is that there's not going to be any plastic on the inside for the cards themselves. Okay. And more unprinted cardboard to get rid of. We have all these stacks of cards to go through. Get to those in a minute. Oh, okay. So here we have, these must be the older design of the inserts that maybe did not work so well. So we'll put those aside. And these are the original tokens that I think had the printing problems. So if we get the other ones out. Yeah, there we go. Front side, I guess, here seems fine. Flip it over. Yeah, these are supposed to have numbers on them, and they didn't have them. So we'll have lots of extra tokens, I suppose, for some reason. But yeah. So you'll note, unlike a lot of card games of this type, these are all wrapped in paper. No plastic to be seen. So these can immediately be, these packages can immediately be recycled or put into a composter. All right, so we have this beautiful valley map here. So this is what I was saying about the open world nature of the game. You can travel from, these are like important spots on the map, travel through different kinds of types of mountainside, swamps, lakeshore, woods, grasslands, and there are different encounter decks for all those. There are major and minor locations. So these gold ones here are really important locations, and then you have other locations that are significant, but like populated ones or unpopulated ones, sites of interest basically. So the whole idea is, I believe, and this is something I'll look into when we actually start playing the game, is you start over here, I think in Lone Tree, or trying to get to Lone Tree Station, and you can decide where you want to go. And the game is organized in a series of, each gameplay session is considered to be a day. When you become exhausted, when you can't play any more cards out of your deck, you basically need to take a rest, and that ends your day, and then the campaign moves along. So it basically involves 2 books. So you've got the rule book, which is fairly substantial, and considering you've got these vegetable links and not chemical links, they are extremely vivid. Gives you everything in here from, of course, checking on the components, which we'll have to, of course, do to make sure we have everything. Some lore about the valley itself, some lovely art, the basic concepts behind the game, how to organize your play area, game setup, of course, playing the game, performing tests, all the actual mechanics, ending the day when you become too fatigued to go on, card anatomy, keywords, and some more fantastic art here of people running away from a giant predator. How to store, how to play a campaign, customizing your deck, creating your ranger. So unlike a lot of other LCGs where you are basically choosing a pre-made character and you get maybe some equipment off the hop that work with them, and you do a little bit of designing of what your deck is, you actually can design your characters' aspects and their backgrounds and their specialities. So there's a little more creativity when it comes to making one of your Rangers your very own. And you have backgrounds. So your background's Artisan, Forager, and it gives you like your starting cards that you can choose from. Shepherd, Traveler, Artificer, Conciliator, Explorer, these are specialties. Shaper, which is like sort of like the mage class. And of course, you just figure out the personality. You design the personality of the character however best it fits how you're playing. Then we have a quick reference guide, of course, to all the different aspects of the game. And importantly, because it is a campaign game, you have a campaign book called The Lure of the Valley. So I'm just going to skim through this. It has numbered sections. The numbers are on the cards themselves that tell you, when you encounter something new or complete or clear an area, then or clear some kind of obstacle, you might get a section in the book to read. And who knows, it could give you items, it could open up new paths to you. Who knows? It's completely open. So I think what I'm going to do when I get around to playing it is play the sample start to the campaign just as a practice for myself. But when I go to actually play the game for the channel, I'll create a new character completely from scratch and start over from a different point in the campaign and just go along that way. Everybody's going to do the prelude, so there's no point in putting that up on the channel. So, so here's our campaign guide. So anybody who sort of is familiar with Frosthaven or Gloomhaven, for example, so here's your campaign track. So you've got basically 30 days, so a full month for the campaign. You can track your mission progress, your location, however many Rangers are playing. You take notes, notable events that you've encountered. The weather changes over time. So it goes from perfect day to downpour, howling winds. So, this is sort of set throughout the campaign, the kind of things you're going to encounter weather-wise over the course of the month. And you've got these entries here as well. As I said, very similar to Frosthaven and Gloomhaven. Things will get added on to this as well as you go through the campaign. So you'll have another note to read later on, much like the outpost phase for the passage of time outpost phase for Frosthaven. So let's have a look at these cards here. Put these aside for now. I'm not going to... Hopefully I don't come across anything spoilery, because there are cards in here that are rewards. So I don't necessarily want to go through all of them or reveal them to myself too early. So I have a reference maybe on the back here as to what kinds of cards these are. These appear to be all tools. Not too big of a fan of that. As soon as I took them out of the package, look what happened there. They immediately curled. Now, I'm going to play this sleeved, but that kind of surprises me quite a bit. So you'll note here, so we have different kinds of equipment. So gear, tools, tech, and so on, right? So a hiking stave that has requirements to wield them and how many charges you have on them, what you can use them for. And then you've got these ones here, which are moments. And you'll note the art difference. So you've got the full color art here, but a more of a duotone or like two-tone art style for all these moments are like this. Which I think, I get it, maybe that was for budgetary reasons, but I actually like this design choice. It separates out what the moments are. from other kinds of cards in the deck. So, and of course they're different aspects. So red is fitness, blue is focus. So we've got, you know, more equipment here. You've got features. Yellow is spirit. So again, we have this. Actually, these are like 3 colors, almost like a spectrum on these ones. It's quite nice. I think it's appropriate for ones that are moments. Then you've got your roles, so a masterful engineer or an exceptional tinkerer. More gear in green, that's awareness. So I think this is mostly all... I think this might be all starting stuff. So Guardian, Voice of the Elders. These might all be starting cards. It would be nice to have had on the cards themselves. Or these packages. Maybe just indicating what these were all intended to be. So yeah, we have Adherent to the First Ideal, Prodigy of the Floating Tower. These appear to all be manifestations that you would use, basically spells. I don't know if any of this stuff is spoilery or not, but it's hard to tell. I really don't know. Some seem pretty powerful, like 3 focus and so on like that, or expert. Yeah, probably things for much later. But yeah, I'm a little surprised. Like as soon as I took them out of that package, they immediately curled. That's pretty wild. Again, I'm going to sleeve these to play with them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But a bit of a shock. So these ones here. Okay, so these are the aspect cards for your character. So basically, when you're creating your character, you choose. So how much ability you have in each one of these aspects. So awareness, spirit, fitness, and focus. So you always have 1 in 1, 3 in 1, and then 2 in 2 others. So that's how they balance it out. And these are all of these are the cards that give you these options. There's a lot of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Probably because number of combinations. But this is what you use when you design your character to see what they're really good at, what they're moderately good at, and what they're not actually very good at. And it looks like it did it do it again? A little bit. It curled a little. Not quite as badly as the first one. The cards have a very different feel from what I'm used to from Marvel Champions, because they're not plastic coated like Champions or Arkham Horror. They're actually they feel actually pretty good. A little, not chalky, but your finger doesn't slide off of them quite as easily as they do with the other cards from those other games. So you have tons and tons and tons of equipment and moments in these. It's a nice tea kit. Oh, there's more character stuff. Very nice. So yeah, I will go through these on my own while got a ton of sleeving to do. I'm not going to sleeve everything. I don't sleeve everything for Champions either. I just sleeve what is appropriate for when I'm playing it. And because you're not, you're building your deck of your encounters in an area when you enter them. So you don't have to have everything built all the time. Oh boy, okay. So again, these could be a bit spoilery maybe, but you've got like giant creatures that are threats to you. Or not, there's a little marmot. And then you have like problems that are in your way, so black mud, overgrown ruins. Ooh, overgrown reactor. Okay. Then you can meet people along the way, and these symbols up here are, of course, for the various areas. So I'm guessing that these are like, this is for swamp areas. You would build a deck using those. These are for significant spots on the map, characters that are unique to there. So I'm not going to really go really in depth on these ones because these appear to be story based. Just some beautiful art in these. Oh, okay, here's our little cheat sheets. That's good. Oh, and these are injuries that you can get during the game, and characters can. The game isn't focused on combat. It's on exploration and taming the wilds, or living. I shouldn't say taming it, but living in harmony with your environment. But yes, you can definitely get injured in the game, which, fatiguing 2, when you draw this card, attach it to your roll as a fitness test. Treat 2 and bandage the injury to return this card to your collection. So these are maladies, and there's 8 of them. So we'll have to see what that means. And then we have our round structure and common tests cards, which is very handy. So that one didn't. Yeah, that one didn't curl as much as the first pack we opened. That first one really went nuts. I wonder if that's a result of how much ink are on these. So these are cards, I believe, that you can spend out of your hand to boost your tests. So insightful, attribute, innate. After you succeed at a test in which you committed this attribute, you may suffer 1 fatigue to add it back into your hand. So yeah, I believe these are act like resources in Marvel Champions. So we'll separate those out, that's for sure. And we have a whole bunch more equipment. Kinetic glass sculpture. That's pretty cool. Reclaimer mucus. Yummy. Oh, there's beast companions. You can have like animals that hang out with you. Umbral claw. Artel's vaulting rod. Okay, I'm not gonna. I don't want to completely mess up my enjoyment, because these all look like fairly high end, so I don't think we're going to be, I don't want to delve too deeply into these. Nice. Seems like a relatively small deck here, or a group of cards. Pretty sure, yeah, all of these are all the same card back. These are all Ranger cards. Oh no, these go into the Path deck. So basically the challenges that you face along the way, Ranger cards, and of course Ranger. So we'll put that one aside up there, just so we know that it's different. Now these I am not entirely sure what these are. Oh, these are inserts. These are the inserts for the box. Okay, so organized by background, artisan, forager, shepherd. Nice, love it. I love the fact that there are these dividers. Now, no wonder that's smaller. The cards are slightly smaller, and you can sort of read what's above them. But when you sleeve them, I don't think you're going to be able to see that. So they'll be a bit That'll be a bit challenging. These appear to be more path cards, so I'm not going to spoil these ones for myself. Monsters, well, monsters, animals. Environmental, toxin eater. Overgrown portage, so challenges, rapids. And these are all connected to like various areas as well when you're traveling through them. Opilion, giant spider thing. Ah, bats! Some more path cards. And then lastly, all right, so these are all location cards. There are a lot of them because there's a lot of locations in the game. So that's a substantial deck, and there are a number of places you can visit. Because if you look on the map, each one of these decks corresponds with one of these major locations. So there's a lot to explore in the base version of the game. And of course, some areas are tougher than others. So I was watching a stream where the designers went on an adventure with starting characters going from I think this tumble down area and trying to get into this marsh. And apparently the marsh is like the high-end difficult area, as opposed to the nice, forests or grasslands or, nice places like that. They took on a real challenge. So those are locations. These are challenges that you get along the way. You get them, I think, from NPCs or locations. I think you get rewards from them. So you'll have missions to do. I think that's what these, so these are the mission cards. There are 34 of them. I see, there must be other ones that are somewhere else because they seem to be all sort of all over the place. What the day is like. Oh, more of those cards. Okay, it's double-sided, so that's good. Okay. And these are the weather conditions. Now, one thing you may have noticed when you're looking at these cards or seen on these cards, how you handle challenges, either taking on dangerous creatures or dangerous environments, or challenging landscape to get through, or trying to get people to join you, or picking up new equipment. Use these cards here. So these ones, of course, will get sleeved because they're going to get shuffled all the time. So, in short, when you're trying to achieve something, you're putting into that challenge a number of points that you have. And this is from, where did I put them? From these cards here. So this corresponds with a number of tokens you have on them. So if you pledge, if you want to do something fitness, I'm going to say like, let's say you're trying to leap over a gorge or something. You probably, I guess this would be fitness to try and use your might to do it. So you have a certain challenge number you're trying to beat. You put, you have your 3 tokens on here. If you haven't spent any yet, you can spend those tokens and other cards as we saw to be able to try and beat that particular challenge to move further along in the story. So how it handles is not through a die roll, but it handles it through a card mechanic. So you've got a stack of these there, and then you flip over the card when you have announced what challenge you're doing. And in this case, if it was a fitness challenge, you'd have a 0 modifier. So if you put enough resources into trying to jump that gorge, let's say, then you would have this one wouldn't have a modifier. But as you can see, you get +1s, -1s, and there are a couple of like +2, -2s in here as well. Now, the symbol at the bottom actually triggers cards that are in the environment. So for example, if I'm doing a challenge, this would also trigger a perfect day. So a perfect day says, with this mountain symbol, if this test added, whatever that symbol is there, progress, add an additional progress. Because it's such a perfect day, it's optimal for doing what you're trying to do. If there was a creature out there that was up in your face, so for example, if you flipped it here, if there is another Hydra worm in the same area as this one, they spread out, move this being. Don't know exactly what move is yet, but well, I guess we'll figure that out. So you have to be, you're trying to pass these challenges, but there will be complications in the form of what cards flip up here. And there's mountain, crest, and sun. Not sure what these ones mean, because they have a duplicate symbol. Oh, reshuffle. So as soon as you get one of these, you reshuffle the deck. So that feels a lot like, for example, oh, that's why. It's probably because you have these -2s. So a reshuffle one, yeah, there you go. The reshuffles have these low values. I guess there's no +2s. It's all -2s. But as soon as you hit one of those, mountains don't seem to have that. Then you would reshuffle it. And again, that's very similar. That's what Gloomhaven and Frosthaven does. When you have a monster card that's really powerful, it tells you to reshuffle. Or when you get a crit or a crit miss. Okay, so that's a quick overview of the components. Overall, I think they're pretty. They look very nice. The colors are really bold. They really stand out. Using this primary color scheme is really quite striking and really pop on the table. Again, I'm not too sure what happened with this particular stack where it immediately curled like that. The other ones have a little bit, but not much. I mean, you'll see that in all card games when you take them out of the packaging. But it feels good to open one of these games and not have a whole ton of plastic that you have to deal with. So I'm really looking forward to diving into this and figuring it out. I gotta get stuff sleeved. I gotta get stuff organized. I said I'm not going to do the prelude adventure that they suggest. I'm going to do that on my own off the channel to learn it. But once I have a feel of the rules down, we'll get into the campaign. I'll do a video where I design my character, and then we're off to the races into our first day of exploring the valley. So heads up, of course, there will be spoilers because it will be all about what's going on in the campaign. I will be reading entries from the Lure of the Valley book as we go along. So just forewarning, there will be, if you're interested in watching, which I sincerely hope you are, there will be spoilers because I will read those passages. And we'll take it a bit slower going through it as well until we get really, really comfortable with the rules, just to explain for the benefit of anybody watching how we play the game. So, lovely. I'm very happy it's finally in my hands, and I am very much looking forward to bringing it to the channel as soon as I can. So thanks very much for watching the unboxing of this. And until next time, happy gaming. Thank you so much for watching Longship Gaming. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It will really help the channel to grow and improve. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when more Longship Gaming content goes live. Until next time, happy gaming.